Because what I want you to do is while I'm on vacation next week, I want you to set one up for some to start in September. I would say to start it in the middle of September. And you can always go back and change the date. But the reason that I would say to start one in the middle of September is typically it's kind of like how New Year's works with the rush, in that people won't generally start back into routine like September 1st. They'll pretty much wait until the kids are back in school. And then the middle of the month usually works out better because things have maybe kind of settled down a little bit. So you're more than likely to get some people that are interested in it then. So the first thing you're going to do is you go to mychallengetrackerportal.com. And I'm already logged in, but obviously if you would log in, and then I have my 2 challenge groups that are set up here. So super simple. You would just go to new group, and then you would name it. So I'm still trying to figure out. I may have you guys run the September one that we're gonna launch, and like the people that you get will go under you. Or like we may just end up doing one and have both of you probably run one together. Or you can run one separate. Like we'll see. It all depends on what you want to do. But I may do one that's more of a bridal one because, like I said, we're going to do that expo. So say I do, bridal expo here, right? So it'll be like, this is where I would put like Shailene Extreme Challenge Group or Summer Slim Down, and then my start date. So if I was looking at the middle of September, like, not really good to always start one on Friday, right? Kind of maybe look to see. Most people are more than likely to start things on a Monday. And then if you want to do an end date, so you could do 30 days, you could do 60 days. If you're really looking to kind of hook people in to the programs, obviously the first 30 days are free. So my recommendation would be to do a 60-day program, right? So then they come for the first 30 days. You can always say, well, the first 30 days are free. And then after that, assuming they're hooked in, then they'll stay for the other 30 days. So if I was going to see, let's see what this would be, 74 days, see how it gives me kind of on there. It's a 60. So 60 days would bring me to November 16th. You could always go 90 days because that'll bring you right to the middle of December, which is kind of perfect because people are going to drop off anyway. I'm going to probably say 60 days is probably what we're going to shoot for. Again, it's all up to you. It's all up to what you want to do. The different programs that you have, you can always make it a multi-program. So the one that I did in April was a multi-program. You could do one that's maybe only Shakeology messages. And these are just the messages and the guide that you're going to use to actually build the challenge pack. For most people, I would say if we're going to be promoting Beachbody On Demand, do the Beachbody On Demand one. And all that means is that the messages are generic. When I did the Shailene Extreme one, obviously those messages are tailored to the program. So like, Shailene comes and motivates every week and kind of says like, this is what you're looking for this week, blah, 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 blah. If you guys want to do one that's tailored to a specific program, I will, you can obviously do that. I think that though, with the diversity that Beachbody On Demand offers, if you're looking to get new clients and new business, you're going to have way more success with doing Beachbody On Demand because you can tailor and market that to all different kinds of people. After I do that, you can put a little description in like get tone, get lean, get mean in 2017, whatever you want to do. And then you can, like I said, your image will be like the image that comes up when you log into the challenge group. Carl is the CEO of Beachbody. He'll post and you can just have them go into your group. I don't care. Put your shit in there, Carl. So I've gone in and I've created my group. So to me, my coach profile is in here. If I want to change my image, I can. I don't. My email is in there. That's my business email. I don't put my phone number in for good reason. And, this is all pretty much self-explanatory. The big part, inviting people. You can invite people from other groups. If this is your first time doing a challenge group, you're not going to have another group to pick people from. But what you'll do is literally this is pretty important because I've screwed this up a couple times. You can either upload a list, and I'm fairly certain it's in Excel. But usually what I'll do is like when I start promoting on Facebook and stuff, I if people proactively reach out to me for information, then I'll put their name. I'll kind of say like I'll send the email that I think I've sent to Susan, and I don't know if I've sent it to Michelle. That's kind of like my pitch email. And then if they're interested from there, I just go in and I put in their name, put in their email address, and then you hit add to list. Okay, so I'm not going to put Susan. I'll hit add to list. They'll show up down here, but then you need to also invite them. So sometimes I've gone and hit add to list and then not invited them, and then people haven't gotten their invites, and then I just pretend like I'm like, oh, you didn't get it, I'll resend it, and then I go and look, and I never sent it in the first place. You can also customize the email that they get to invite them to the challenge group. I have not done that. Pretty much what I say is that the email that I send them up front, like that's my pitch email. After that, I just say you'll get an invitation to the challenge group, and then they join the online group, and, self-explanatory from there. Your group feed's going to be like where you're going to see all the posts. You'll typically just see this in the app. The invite to them will tell them to download the app as well, if you guys remember that. And then the last thing would be like your coach admins here. So like I can make anybody that's a coach, an admin. So like, and you can't make just regular people coaches. They have to be coaches in Beachbody. So for example, if you guys were going to run one together, again, you do not have to do that. Then you can both put your coach addresses in, and all that means is like you can post on behalf of the group like as a coach, and you can add posts to like the group feed. In some instances, like there's files here that you can upload. I never really use it. If I was doing one where I was doing, say, a Shailene Extreme one, I may put the program materials in here because I find a lot of times people neglect that. Like neglect the nutritional guide and the calendar, and then the first day starts and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, or they follow kind of my schedule that I put on the feed and kind of forget how to do things. I am going to show people in another video kind of a neat way to keep yourself on track and know exactly where you are in the calendar without actually printing one out. What was the other thing? Okay, so this is the secret to making this very painless for you. Meaning, like, so when I do the challenge groups, I post something on every day, and I told you guys about this, but I'll post something on or whatever. The challenge group guides. So you'll see a guide for every challenge group. So Beachbody on Demand, here's the guide. And this is literally going to give me step by step the posts, what day to put them, and sometimes you'll see there's a red part in here, and I'll explain that. So for this one, this starts a week prior to the challenge start date. It's especially good if we're starting to promote in like the next couple of weeks. People get themselves set up in it, they're all ready to go, and then they start seeing these messages and they kind of get yourselves ramped up. It kind of gives them, a little bit of setup stuff. Make sure you can log in, blah, 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 how to get started with nutrition. So you're going to take these, and if you want to do your own guide, that's great. I don't have time to do it. You're going to take these and you're going to copy. So this is day 1, week 0, okay? And then what I usually will do with the image is I'll save the image. I'm going to go back to my challenge group. Scheduled draft posts. Oh, sorry. Yeah, add post. Copy and paste. So this is that. I make sure that the text makes sense. This is super important. There are spots in the challenge guide here that are red. Those are for you to insert things into them. Do not get lazy and not do that, because it gives away that you're copy and pasting. So in here, it's like, hey, for through these next, what? This challenge is for 60 days. For the next 60 days, blah, 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 blah. And then when you get down here, you may, like, when you come back to here, you'll maybe see them as listed questions. Here, it's like, it's just a list, right? You might want to put 1, 2, 3, 4 in there. I'm going to add my image that I downloaded. I don't know, here it is. Undies, something like that. That's because of the post that I put on. It's not me and my undies. I'm just saying, just making that clear. And then this is where you're going to schedule it. So this one, if I'm going to start it on the 18th, I'm going to start this one on the week before and then set the time. I usually will change the time around a little bit so it's not every day at 9 o'clock, maybe 6, maybe 7, and then schedule. Boom, scheduled, done. It's going to post on September 11th. I could do that again. So usually, like if I have some downtime, I'll go and set up maybe 2 or 3 weeks worth of posts. Set myself a reminder in like a week before the posts are going to end, and then I'll go and do the next set of posts. So that way you're not having to worry about doing it every day. You can really set it up ahead of time, as far out as you want. And then it's just a well-oiled machine, right? People are going to get their posts. They're all scheduled. You can go in, make sure when you go in that if people have commented that you acknowledge that they're there, just so they don't feel that they're talking to anyone, especially this first one, because it is kind of like a, where do you live? You need to do it, right? You need, even if you've done this before, like you're going to have new people that are brand new to this stuff and they're not a part of our group. So you want to make them feel welcome and you want them, it's kind of like a breaking the ice, like icebreaker kind of thing. And then once all those are done, it's really just about getting people into the challenge group. And then the challenge group will run on its own. And then you're back into the app, right, where you're just logging your Shakeology, logging your workouts. You have to be a role model for the program. I am fairly certain I'm the only one left in Shailene Extreme, right, out of the group that I started. I have to be a role model for that group. Like you can't just set up these challenge groups and then piss off and disappear. People are counting on you. You have to motivate people. And the best way to motivate people is by doing the programs, drinking your shakes, and commenting and liking things and making people know that you're seeing their posts. On the app, it'll give you the notifications. So you'll be able to see anything. If you ever decide, like I said, if you want to go back and you want to edit the group, so if I went back in, like I can go back in and edit the group and say, I want to change the start date. I've done this before. Like I've done this with some of the groups, like where if I really didn't have some people and I've pushed the date out by 2 weeks or something like that, just to see if I could drum up some more people. Or maybe the middle of September isn't going to work for a lot of people. Like you don't know. I would really try to stick to that middle of September because as you see, sometimes when you start talking to people or they start asking questions, they might come back with an excuse or like, I won't have the money until X. And it's like, okay, well, the first 30 days are free. So join us for the first 30 days, right? They're getting the experience. And then from there, the odds are, for the most part, they may end up just signing on for the year or doing the challenge pack, right? Especially when they see people posting about drinking my shakes, feeling great, doing my workouts. So, don't try to always get people to buy the challenge pack off the gate. If obviously you want to get that sale, but make them know that, that they can do the 30, if all else fails, always throw the 30 days free at them. Don't throw it at them right away. You want to get the challenge pack if you can, right? Because that's going to be the biggest commission you're going to make off of it. But always fall back on, you have the challenge pack. If they have some reason why they don't want to do the shakes and they just want to do the workouts, that's okay. Like you can sell them the annual pack. Again, it's not what we're really targeting people for. Always come back at them and say, like, I have samples, give them a sample. But don't want to be so pushy in that they're finally like, you know what, you're just not hearing me. Like, I have a reason I can't do the shakes, right? So always try to think of it smartly when you're trying to get people signed up for these challenge groups. So that is how to set up a challenge group. So I would like you guys to set one up. especially if you're going to try to run one in September. So set it up. I will have access to messages and email while I'm on vacation.